What a beautiful mosaic. It is March 25 and I am at Saguaro National Park, the East Park. This park is kind of split by Tucson. So there's an east and a west, and I'm on the east side, and I'm doing the Loma Verde Trail today. But it's kind of, I'm not exactly sure. There's all kinds of different trails connected all in here, so I'm not exactly sure where I'm going. But it'll be fun to find out. It's a gorgeous day. That is a massive one. These guys are spelt, but they're pronounced Saguaro. Not Saguaro, but Saguaro. They're actually very tasty, and the birds and the deer and sheep really love to get into them and eat them. These sure look like dandelions, but they're not. Actually, I have never seen a dandelion in Arizona, come to think about it. See what I mean? You've got all kinds of different options where to go. So, I'll just follow the right one, Squeeze Pen Trail. So correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it took the Israelites 2 years to go from Egypt to the border of the Promised Land. Oh, we get to do a river crossing. This should be manageable. So once they were at the border, 12 spies were sent out into the Promised Land to check things out. See, God encourages date finding and fact collecting missions. He doesn't expect everything to go by faith. That's pretty cool. Only Caleb and Joshua knew that God would help them, and the other 10 spies didn't remember about God, I guess, even though he was present with them all the time. Since the Israelites had left Egypt, they had not trusted God and had rebelled against him. It was very sad. The Israelites got so angry and they wanted to go back to Egypt, and they even were wanting to stone Caleb and Joshua. That's how ridiculous they were. Okay, it says I'm still on the Loma Verde Trail, doing good. Moses pleads with God for the children of Israel. God finally has enough with the grumblings of the children of Israel, and he says that they are going to have to wander in the wilderness for 40 years, and those 20 years and older will not see the Promised Land, except Caleb and Joshua. They will get to enter it, but they'll get to enter it only after 40 years. So they have to suffer with the other Israelites, even though they said that it could be conquered.
The Lord is long-suffering and abundant in mercy, forgiving iniquity and transgression, but he by no means clears the iniquity, visiting the iniquity of the fathers on the children to the 3rd and 4th generation.
Sin is never fair, is it? Drunken people kill innocent people. Viruses kill innocent people. One country's disobedience can cause the whole world to suffer. Sin is not fair. We all have to suffer for the wrong decisions that others make. Caleb and Joshua had to suffer. They had to waste the best years of their life wandering in the wilderness because of other people's disobedience. However, God eventually does allow them to enter the Promised Land. That's why we have to put faith in God right now. Things are unfair, but God will eventually straighten it all out. And when we someday enter the Promised Land, it will seem as nothing. Our sufferings will seem as nothing. So we just have to keep our focus on God and trust in him. This old world is going crazy right now, Every single country I hear has been affected by the coronavirus now. That is just astonishing, and it happens so fast. But God knows, and it's the result of sin, but God cares. I'm sure that the Israelites' desert was not as pretty as this one. All these prickly pear cactus are edible. I would love to try some sometime. Oh, and birds nest in there. So this is spelt, but it's pronounced choya. And there's lots of different varieties of choya. And you can see the buds, the fruiting buds, those are edible as well, if you can get to them before the birds do. But these ones aren't ripe. I'm learning a lot about the desert as I read through all the pamphlets and everything. So fascinating, I just love it. I wouldn't want to live here though, but I love visiting. And actually most of the cactus are edible. So if you're in a desperate situation and you got a knife with you or a match or a torch to burn off the thorns, you can eat the insides of the cacti. Sadly, the saguaros don't blossom until May, and I have to go back because of this coronavirus. I have to go back home, so I won't be able to see the blooms. I'm very sad. These Palo Verde trees are being nurse trees to these baby cacti. For those of you that care, I'm on the Pink Hill lookout. The saguaros are certainly the sustenance of the desert. A ranger lady on the horse passed me, talked to me for a bit, said she was warning me because she saw a bull snake out the other day. She said they're early. She says, don't worry though. Uh-huh. You bet I'm watching the pathways. So I was on the Pink Hill Trail, and now I'm on the Squeeze Trail that's going to lead me back to the Loma Verde Trail. And to get on this trail to begin with, there's an 8-mile scenic drive from the visitor center. It's a one-way loop drive, and then there's trailheads that take off from that drive. So you can choose whatever trail you want to go on, obviously. The Healing Hiker rating for this Saguaro National Park is a 5 out of 5. I love it because you can customize your hike. There's so many different little trails that you can take, and around, it's a curvy path too, so you're excited to see what's around the next bend. And there's lots of wildflowers and birds. And yeah, for a desert life experience, it was great. I'm guessing I walked 4 miles today, and that is enough because it's very warm. Oh, bring lots of water when you come. If you do end up coming here though, one tip is to bring a map on the trails with you. I had to pull mine out quite a few times. Yeah, you don't want to do this without a map. So leave a comment if you have ever had to suffer the consequences of another person's sin. I'd be very interested to know. And quite honestly, at the time of this recording, we all are suffering the consequences of the sins of one marketplace in Wuhan, China, who was messing around with slaughtering unclean animals. So sad. Whole world is affected. But be of good cheer, people. We may be dwelling in the wilderness right now, but the heavenly promised land is soon to come. So hang on tight, and we will get through this.